What's up everybody? In this video I'm going to show you how to transfer your data over from an iPhone to an Android device. Specifically for this video I'll be using my iPhone XS Max and my Google Pixel 3 XL. I'm basically going to walk you through the process of copying over as much from the iPhone over to the Pixel 3 XL. This is not going to be a one-for-one process. The reason being is apps purchased on your iPhone will not transfer over because of the purchasing model that is used between Google and Apple. That being said, apps that are free, text messages, pictures, all stuff like that, call logs, most of that stuff will transfer over. So I'm going to walk you through that process, and we'll go ahead and get my iPhone out of the way here and proceed with the Pixel 3 XL. This is fresh out of the box. I haven't set it up yet, so I'm going to go ahead and start that process. And you can skip most of this. The only thing you can't skip is you have to either put a SIM card in, do a SIM-free setup if you have Project Fi or Google Fi now, or put in your Wi-Fi password. So I'm going to skip the SIM part of this, and I'm going to connect to my Wi-Fi real quick. Okay, so I've connected to my Wi-Fi. It is now checking for updates. And once it goes through this process, we can move on and actually start with the transferring of stuff from our iPhone over to the Pixel 3 XL. Now we're being prompted to copy stuff over from our old device, so I'll go ahead and hit next. And it says you need your old Android or iPhone device, turn it on and keep it unlocked. So here's our iPhone again. Next. Now it's saying find your old phone's cable. So you want to get your lightning cable, and we're going to use the lightning cable and then one of the adapters that came in the box of the Pixel 3, and that's how we're going to connect the two phones. So I'll go ahead and hit next. So insert cable on your old phone, so take your lightning cable and connect that to your iPhone. Hit next. Then we're going to need this adapter out of the box of the Pixel 3 XL, so that will go into the Pixel. And then the other end of the lightning cable will go into this adapter. So over here on the iPhone we get a prompt saying trust this computer. Go ahead and say trust. Enter your passcode to ensure security. So you see on the Pixel it has detected the iPhone, and it's saying if you don't add your Google account, your apps and iOS calendar events won't transfer. So we'll have to put in our Google account at some point here. So let me sign in with my Gmail account real quick. Okay, so it's asking if I want to keep my phone updated with this phone number. So you can skip this or say yes, I'm in. I'm going to say yes, I'm in. And I'm just covering up my email address, that's why I have my thumb over the screen there. Go ahead and say I agree. Okay, now it's checking for data. Okay, so we're prompted here now, being asked what we want to transfer over. The selection choices we have are apps, call history, message attachments, messages, music and other audio, photos and videos, and wallpapers. Here it says synced automatically is Google Calendar, Google Photos, Google Contacts, and Gmail. I'm not going to transfer photos over because I actually use Google Photos. If you don't use Google Photos, I'll make another video on that, showing how that works on iPhones. It is an extremely valuable tool in my opinion. It's free. It automatically backs up all your photos. If you choose a lower but still very good resolution, it does this for free without using up any space. So that is really awesome. So I always recommend using Google Photos. So because of that, I'm not going to transfer any photos or videos. I'm not going to transfer any music, and I'm going to go ahead and select all of that. Go ahead and hit next. And here it's giving me all my apps, and I can check and uncheck these as I please. And it says apps will ask for permissions as they get installed. So I'm going to go ahead and hit copy. So this isn't actually copying the app over from the iPhone. What is actually happening is it's just getting the app list from the iPhone, and then it's pulling the apps from the Play Store. And so that's why you have to set up either your SIM card or your Wi-Fi. I would highly recommend just setting up your Wi-Fi. That way there's no chance of it using your SIM card first. You can always add your SIM card later and then use the phone that way. So as you see, it says less than a minute to go. Okay, it says restoring content. It says you can actually hit next and finish setting it up while it's doing that. I'm going to leave the time as is. Now we're being asked if we want to back up our phone. I don't like allowing scanning, so I turn that off usually. And I do want to back up this new phone to Google Drive, so I'll go ahead and leave that checked. I don't send diagnostic data usually. I'm going to go ahead and hit accept. And then this is just legal stuff. You can read that on your own if you like. I'm going to go ahead and hit accept. Here we're being asked if we want to add our fingerprint. I'm going to go ahead and hit next and do that real quick. So to use a fingerprint, you need to set up a PIN That's for when the phone initially restarts. It asks you for a PIN, much as the same way the iPhone does. Even if you have Face ID set up, it will ask you for your PIN when the phone first restarts. So let me set up a PIN really quick. Okay, now that I set a PIN up, it's asking me to touch the sensor. And then you just lift your finger repeatedly, kind of move it all around the sensor so that it gets a good scan of the fingerprint. And then you can move on or add another. Now it's asking us to continue if we want to set up our wallpaper, our Google Assistant, or set it up later. I'm just going to go ahead and set that up now as well. So here it's asking us to access our voice assistant with voice match. You could say I agree. And so if you haven't done this on a previous Android device, it will ask you to say a phrase repeatedly so that it knows your voice and can pick up the intonation and how you speak. Since I've already done this on previous devices, I don't need to do this again. If I wanted to, I could go into Google Activity Controls, delete my voice profile already, and then retrain it. But as I said, I've already done this, so I don't have to do this again. So I'm going to hit continue. Squeeze for assistant. The phone has sensors in the sides right here, where if you press firmly, it will bring up the Google Assistant. I personally don't like using that because I end up activating it on accident, and so I just don't turn that on. I'll just hit do it later. Always on display. I really do like this. I wish the iPhone would do this. It can do it. It has an OLED screen. These both use the same screen technologies where only the pixels that are being used are turned on. What that means is if you have a black screen and then white text, literally just the white text pixels are being powered on. The rest of the screen is not using up any power. So I use this, and it's really convenient, and it draws very, very little battery. So I always turn this on, but you can say no thanks. And then now it's asking if you want to add more email accounts, control lock screen info. One last tip, it's asking us if we want to subscribe to tips and tricks from Google. That's this little switch is here. If you don't want to do that, it's letting you know that if you go to settings, tips and support, there is more info for you there. So I'm just going to hit say all set. I don't want to subscribe to this. And now it's saying phone's almost ready. So we've got 56 apps in the background waiting to be installed. Call history, messages, and wallpaper have all been copied over. So I'm interested in seeing if it has the iPhone wallpapers over here now. So I'm going to go ahead and say done. To keep receiving SMS messages from iPhone users, you'll need to turn off iMessage on your old phone. You can still use iMessage on other devices like an iPad. When you're done setting up your Pixel 3, visit g.co/iMessageHelp and follow the instructions. Hit OK. So I'm actually going to show you how to do that real quick on the iPhone. And oh, look at that, it copied that wallpaper. So that's pretty cool. And swipe up is how you get to your apps. This is Android, so there is an app drawer, whereas on iPhone, all your apps are just there. Here they are tucked away down here, and you can drag those on your home screen as you see fit. It's very easy to do. Simply hold and then drag it on your home screen. So that's something you'll be unfamiliar with if you're coming from iPhone. I prefer that. I don't like this clutter of icons always being on my home screen, so I much prefer the clean look on Android. That's just personal preference. You can't just set all your icons on the home screen if you like. As you fill up home screens, it will add more to the right side here. But anyways, back to turning iMessage off. So the way you're going to do that is go to settings, go to messages, and then right here is a little switch. I already have mine turned off, but you're going to want to turn that off. And then one last thing you'll have to do, and I'm not going to show you how to do that because you have to log into your Apple account to do that, but if you go to apple.com, you can deregister this phone number, which, you know, in theory, you're going to move this SIM card over to this phone. You can remove that phone from being tied to iMessage so that people will start getting texts from you over here. And so that's definitely something you need to do as well. But definitely make sure to turn this off over here. In the event that for whatever reason you need to switch back to this phone for a little bit and then switch back to the Pixel, having this turned off will prevent your phone from getting registered again with iMessage. So definitely do that. There you have it. Now you're ready to jump into the world of Android. It can be a scary place if you're not familiar with Android at all. If you've been using iOS for years and years and years, learning a new operating system can be a little bit daunting, but it's fairly easy. That being said, that's a quick look at transferring your data from iOS over to Android. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. you want to see more videos like this in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for me, you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. So until next time,